First, we were surprised to notice that the main theme of Triana is repeated at least 4 times, depending on how you want to count them. But each of those theme statements is presented so differently from each of the others that it took us a while to notice the repetitions. During our practice times, we also became impressed with the drama of Triana. We began to think of it as a short stage play. You can just imagine, when you first hear it, of course, that would be the introduction. And it sets the stage for an encounter on a narrow street in Seville's gypsy quarter. The curtain is quickly pulled back with a flourish. You can just hear it. And then we see, in your mind's eye, this gallant young caballero, strutting, self-assured, full of himself, just talking, strutting down this narrow street, and gently and gracefully walking towards him is a beautiful young señorita, lovely in her brightly colored dress of ruffles and lace. And that's when we hear the theme for the first time. Spellbound, the young man's attention is quickly grabbed, and he is smitten. They start a conversation. This brash adolescent suddenly matures into a very debonair gentleman. His resonant voice seeks to charm this enchanting señorita. The theme once more is heard in his richly sonorous voice. The girl responds with another playing of the theme, and she's flattered by this gallant aristocrat. She becomes all fluttery and excitable, and I think we can even hear a little giggle in there. At last, filled with rapture, they both join in a passionate repetition of the theme. So what's the outcome of this story? Is it the beginning of a beautiful love story? Do they live happily ever after? But wait, you hear a few intense moments there. What's happening? Do they have a disagreement? Or are they even more ardently declaring their love? Do you hear that thoughtful pause at the end as they consider their options to fall in or out of love? Finally, the gypsy quarter stroll is resumed. But is it with the caballero and the señorita walking along together, much in love? Or are they parting from each other, walking separately away? Listeners, what do you think?